Greetings, everyone. That feels really weird for me to say that, but I do have to finally embrace the energy that is really strong within me right now, and that is Cryon's energy. I need to acknowledge what I have known for some time, about a year or so, but I didn't really know what that meant. There was a lot of self-discovery I had to go through, and that's that I'm in the order of Cryon. So what that means is I'm part of a group that is here to help adjust the magnetic grids, and I never understood what the magnetic grids were exactly until I'm starting to realize though that that is adjusting the well gosh, this is really hard. It has to do with psychology. It has to do with understanding the patterns that we humans carry around in the collective unconscious, the conditionings that we carry around, adopt, and believe that this is life or whatever. So, this channel right now is dedicated to beginnings and awakenings. What you're seeing now is a human that is finally realizing who she is and is coming into herself to begin the work that really needs to happen in this world. Now, the past 6 months have been a huge purge time, dealing with the heartbreak that my twin flame caused and catalyzed. But he caused me to go really deep within myself and to find myself, find who I really was, and start to really decipher the BS from the truth. In essence, to find the truth of things, I had to be willing to allow a veritable nuclear explosion of me and my life just come back to my home here and say, I'm taking care of all this. I am really tired of existing in this life. So, I have to do something about that. And so, I'm getting off point here. The point is, I am building myself into a new way of thinking, letting go of what it has been called the 3D mentality, and I'm moving into my higher consciousness, my higher self, Pally and Pilly, my lower self. But you got to get rid of this duality of thinking that there's a hierarchy of one is better than the other, because there's not. You need both of them. Lower self, though, just means that it's what's attached to the earth. It's your inner child. It's the innocence. The higher self. Yeah, I don't really want to talk about that right now. It's too complicated. I don't really understand it. So, yesterday, Cryon had me working in the cemetery, and I recorded that video. And I gave the souls the option of, when they do their job for me, that I will pay them or reward them by reintegrating them with their lower soul or their soul. I didn't know how I would do that. Well, then the question has been pestering me, well, why can't I do that with myself? Maybe I should start with myself. So I decided today, a few minutes ago actually, that I'm going to reintegrate a past life. And I'm going to believe that I can access all of her knowledge, memories, and abilities and bring that into my present life. This kind of came to me yesterday when I was talking to someone. Someone was talking about feeling really down about all the soulless individuals that surround them. And they feel like they're so happy, vibrant, and full of life. That's a concept I don't really want to get into, as far as, her not facing her shadows or something like that. The point is, though, I had an interesting thing break through me, and that was saying there's no such thing as a soulless individual. And what you're perceiving right now in humanity as soulless individuals are really about people at this point are so low on energy that they barely have enough energy to survive and hold together a life in this body. So much harvesting has been going on. We've been stuck in this incarnational machine that we don't need to keep being in. We need to figure out a way out. It is up to us to get out. And realistically, the best way is through cooperation. That's about the only way that we're going to get out of this. We're stuck. We're in prison, in essence. So soulless people are not soulless. They just have so many holes in their soul because of all the lives that they lived, and every single life they live, they leave behind a ghost, and that ghost is part of the soul. And so the idea is that to become whole again, we have to start to reintegrate all these missing pieces of ourselves. And for everyone, it's going to start in different ways. They have different soul fragments in different places for different reasons. But a huge contributor to these soul fragments is the leaving behind of ghosts every time we die and then reincarnate into a new life. Every new life, once we die, ends up finalizing into a ghost. And that is ripped away from us when we die. So I'm going to reintegrate the ghost of a past life of a woman. Her name is Sabrina Ann Farnsworth. And she fled from somewhere in like Wales or something like that. And she belonged to Druids. You know, her family lineage was Druids, and she practiced that art. But she lived during the time when there was witch persecution starting to happen. And at some point, or when witch persecutions were really going strong, I mean, they've been happening for a long time. So at some point, she fled here to America, but I don't think this is America as we know it now. I mean, this is when America was starting, when there was still the ideals of this is where people could come to flee from religious persecution or persecution of any type. You know, when America still embodied the ideals of the gift of Lady Liberty that was later given to us in her tablet. Talks about give me your poor, weak, hungry, infirmed, the downtrodden, those that are fleeing from persecution, give them all to me. So she came to America before it was America, while it was still colonies, and so she ended up becoming part of the witch hysteria that was here too. Oddly, here's a country that's talking about, or a place, a new country, but it's colonies, I think. I'm not really that great on my history. So I don't know where the Salem witch trials fell into the whole colonization and then the Revolutionary War. I'm not sure where that order occurs. And I have to reintegrate her into this life. I have to become her. I have to allow her knowledge to become part of me. Okay. So I just wanted to stop there for just a moment and illustrate for you this change that I am going through. I am recreating my living space around me as an anchor point. I understand that sometime in the near future I will be leaving this place, but it's important that I wrap up a lot of karmic energy, a lot of karmic dysfunction, patterns that I've been following, whether they're genetic patterns or just energy patterns of the people that are surrounding me, my past life karmic issues that I have to deal with. All of that has been in the process of being resolved these past 6 months, and I'm finally getting to the point of I'm wrapping it up, and I'm not attached anymore to this place, but I know I have to create an anchor, as if I might come back here. But even if I don't, I'm anchoring energy, because energy can't be lost. So even if this place is gone, I have anchored energy, and I've anchored energy for me that I myself can go back and visit at any point I desire. So everything, I've been addressing clutter like crazy, so these are still piles of things that I need to organize and whatever. But this is all much better than it was 6 months ago. But I'm slowly creating this space. See, like this place behind me, I just created it the other day. I'm still working on it, adding to it, but it's this new altar. It's this way to ground myself and to be able to give myself something to fly into the future with. I love my ceiling. This has been a project. I started this room, this space 2 years ago. And I finally came back from my heartbreak, my paradise loss, and says, I'm going to change my life and I'm going to create the paradise for myself because I had a taste of paradise. So there's a lot of stuff that has to be worked on. This is my daughter's space back there, and it was a mess. There's a lot of karma, a lot of patterns and conditionings attached to that. But I'm regrounding her into her future. So she's growing up and there's more maturity there. But there's still aspects of her childhood, that are in this scene. And yeah, these are all just stickers and whatever, but the point was to create these things that were going to be jump off points into a future of empowerment, a future of figuring out what it is that we need to do for ourselves and our future. So I'm just showing you some neat things I'm doing in my room. Because I live in a multi-generational household, so I have a room. And you see, this is something I'm moving out of. I realize there's big changes that I do need to make. And part of that is flying, gaining my independence and my desire. I like that background, actually. No, not that one. I like... This background feels a little bit more appropriate for the moment. There we go, right there. No? Something like that. A little bit of something. Big changes, because I have to move out of my 3D limitations. This idea of what I've created for myself. So I'm resolving a whole bunch of stuff right now. I'm finally seeing the light. I'm finally seeing how all this is coming to an end and it's wrapping up beautifully. But it's in preparation for me to move. Where specifically, I don't know. I just know that in my very near future, this is not going to be part of my reality anymore. So why am I putting all this work into here? It's wrapping it up. It's setting it up for my daughter, at some point to come back into her life. But I understand that for our lessons right now, I need to be willing to leave. And I need to gain some distance because there's a lot of karmic issues that have been passed down through this family line, all starting with Sabrina. And I need some distance because I can't fix these things while I'm thoroughly enmeshed in the conflict. And while I know that in the 3D it seems like this is going to be very traumatic, I have my own traumas I've carried around from my mom leaving me. and feeling abandoned by my dad. I have a lot of abandonment issues, and I'm very aware psychologically of what this might do for her. But I also understand that I have this ability to hold on to this moment, and I'm creating these anchoring points for a reason. So even if I leave, these are anchoring points for her. And I will come back. And when I come back, she'll have grown. I'll have grown. I will have had the distance that I need to see what's going on, because I need some clarity. I don't have that right now. And I'm mature enough now to realize I need some distance to gain some clarity, because I'm committed to her, into fixing this for both of us, into fixing this generational curse that just keeps going on and on and on. So part of this is, and I just realized this by talking about all this, is reintegrating with Sabrina. Because all of this started with Sabrina for various reasons. Maybe someday I'll get into her story in a little bit more detail. But right now, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'm just going to do this. I started it earlier, but I felt, that I had to do a video. Sabrina, I need you. I know circumstances caused us to part ways. You became the ghost, and I left you. I understand that you're mad, and you don't really have any sentience, really. You can't really conceptualize that anger, that feeling of being abandoned. You've lived this life of continuing to repeat Sabrina and the life that she lived. I'm inviting you now back with me. Sabrina, will you marry me? Will you come back to join me into my heart? Become a part of my life now. Come into this future. Share all the knowledge that you have, and allow yourself to live again. I'm giving you new life, Sabrina. You don't have to be this ghost anymore. That's just an embodiment of the life of Sabrina, and that's all you'll ever be. Come back to me. Allow me to show you a new life. Allow me to give you a new life, a new purpose, a new way to apply all this knowledge that you spent a lifetime earning, and then you had to die. And it never had a lineage, it never had a progression, it just died. It did have a lineage. I mean, obviously, I'm in your bloodline now, and I'm carrying on this generational curse that has been passed down from mother to daughter. But you never knew your daughter in that lifetime. She was taken away from you. But it created this karmic sticking point. I can heal that. I am healing that. But Sabrina, I need you. Thank you. Thank you for coming back to me. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with me. Your wisdom, your hard-earned wisdom, knowledge. And I will do my best to apply that, and to bring honor to everything that you worked in blood, sweat, and tears for. And I will restart the things that you started in that lifetime that died. We've got a new future, Sabrina. Thank you.